Christmas is coming early this year. That's why I got the red jacket today, because I'm gonna bless y'all. Okay?
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm tired of y'all getting lied to on the internet with all these people lying about business credit and what they know about business credit. And I'm also tired of this being talked very at a surface level. People not really understanding what they're talking about. So I'm here to kind of make it make sense as it pertains to building business credit. I'm gonna take you through step by step. I'm gonna try to do this in 15 minutes, but you guys know I talk too damn much. You know, let's do 20 minutes. I'm gonna show you how to build business credit. I'm gonna show you how to understand business credit in less than 15 minutes, step by step on how to get this done. So I'm gonna put on my equipment here because we're gonna get busy. I'm gonna bring it to my screen as well and talk about this stuff. And let's go ahead and get started. And the best way to talk about business credit, I have to help you understand this whole concept of credit first off. And the best way to do that is, let's first talk about personal credit. We all pretty much have had some type of experience with personal credit. Some of the basics that we all should know is, we all, generally know is there's three major credit bureaus. There's Treasury, Experian, and Equifax. The oldest one is Equifax. Equifax was the first one, but we're gonna talk about that in just a second. But we also know that there is this thing called a FICO score, or there's a credit score. And we know that the higher the score is, the better off you are as far as getting funding and getting the best terms. The lower your score is, the less chance you have as far as getting funded in more better favorable terms. So anyway, that's just kind of basic knowledge. Okay, that's it, just the basic. Let me give you an understanding where all this stuff came from. Now, Equifax, as I mentioned to you, is the first credit bureau. It's about 124 years old. I put up Wikipedia, as you can see, and then you got Experian, which is about 27 years old, and then TransUnion, I think, is actually the second youngest, if you want to call it that. And then we have Experian, which is only 27 years old, started in 1997. Now, I want you to know there's so many more of the credit bureaus that people don't talk about, but these are the three major credit bureaus that we all are very familiar with. Now, where all this stuff come about, let me just kind of paint the picture here. It's back in the day, but back in the hunters and gatherers period, clearly they started in 1899. Okay, that's a long time ago, okay? Just think about that. Now, people used to give credit within, I guess, society, because we're not internationally, you weren't buying plastic from China, your tissue paper, everything was very locally. So you had vendors that you should do business locally, and they started extending credit to individuals and also businesses from a local level, okay? Now, Equifax, this is just kind of how I'm gonna tell the story, okay? Equifax came about and thought about the value of gathering the information being held by all these vendors that are extending credit, and then being able to possibly share the information amongst each other so they can know who's a good client and who's not a good client. So Equifax just started gathering all this information and then giving the data access to the people that were also submitting the information to furnishers, okay, so they can better analyze risk. Now, long story short, let's move into the industrialized age or whatever, but in the 1960s, where 50s and 60s, where American dream is starting to become a thing. This thing called a credit card is out there. We have the financial transaction system kind of, more so just from a cash standpoint. We're starting to have electronic transactions starting to become a thing, and banks thought about this being a better way for them to evaluate risk. And it wasn't just, if you think about it, banks started accepting thousands of applications every single day. It is humanly impossible. They started utilizing this data and looking at all these different pages to help them evaluate risk. Okay, I want you to just understand that. There's other things that came into place where you had all these compliance laws that were being enforced upon them. When you're talking about, the civil rights bill, where you can't be racist when it comes to your lending decisions, which we all know about the redlining, about I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but I want you to know why we came to where we at and why we talk even about these credit scores. So one thing that came about was FICO was a company that came about. And when did FICO a wiki? This is all going to make sense here in a second. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Corporation, okay? There you go. Right around that time that I'm talking about, 1956, okay? FICO came about, and FICO said, hey, Mr. Banks, I see you guys having issues with being compliant with all the new civil rights bill, with all the federal laws in place, and also just from a productivity standpoint, I know you guys are tired of paying all these hours for people to just manually go through all this data to analyze risk. So how about this? We're gonna come up with a scoring algorithm, and this score is gonna range from 350 to 800, or 300 to 850. And if somebody has a low score, they're gonna be considered a high risk, and they're not somebody that you're gonna take a risk on. If somebody has a high score, they're gonna be considered a low risk, and you can actually take a chance on them. That's where all this crap came about. I want you to have that understanding where all of that stuff came about. Now, I want you to also look at it. How did you build your personal credit? Now, I'm gonna tie this back in, okay? Stay with me, okay? Because again, I know we're here to talk about business credit. I'm gonna tie it back in. How did you build your personal credit? Well, majority of us got like a credit card in high school. $300, dealer's card or whatever card. It was usually like a vendor card. This is when JCPenney was out there, either maybe even a Sears card, okay? And then after that, once you paid that card on time and everything was good, you got a higher limit. And then after you got a higher limit, maybe you got another credit card. And then you started getting offers in the mail. And then, of course, you got a car. And then, of course, you got older. You got a real job. You graduated from high school. You got a mortgage. And so forth and so on. Life kind of took over, okay? And then there's 5 things that affect your credit. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to mention them. They evaluate. What comes up with that score is 5 factors. They evaluate and editor. Let's put this on the thing. 5 factors that affect your credit score. Okay, so there's this 5 things that affect your credit. 35% of it is payment history, 30% is utilization, 15% is types of credit, 10% is new credit, and 10% is diversifying your credit. So anyway, those are the 5 things that affect your credit. Now, you're probably sitting here, Brian, I thought you got a gift for us. I thought you got your Santa suit on, and I thought you were going to be talking about business credit. Why the hell are you talking about personal credit? This is why. I have to get you to understand where the history of gathering credit came from and where this scoring algorithm came from the understanding from a personal standpoint. Because I don't understand why people make this so complicated when it comes to business credit, because it's almost exactly the same. And I emphasize on the fact that it's almost exactly the same, because there's not the same factors that are used to evaluate business credit that are used to evaluate personal credit. But let's slow it down for just a second. With business credit, there are still 3 major credit bureaus. We still have Treasury, Dun & Bradstreet, okay, which is the major credit bureau in business credit, DNB. Where is it at? I think I already pulled up the wiki. Here it is. Here it is. And actually, if you notice, DNB is older than Equifax. DNB is about 181 years old, which is the oldest credit bureau, period. So they started collecting information on business credit before they even started collecting information on consumer credit. That's what I want to highlight here, okay? Dun & Bradstreet, and then there is Experian Business, and then there's Equifax Business. TransUnion does not have a business credit profile. So there's 3 major credit bureaus when it comes to building business credit that you need to understand. And what are they again? Go ahead. DNB, oldest one, and then we have Equifax, okay? And then we have Experian Business. Okay, Equifax Business, Experian Business, okay? So now let's talk about building business credit. And I want to break this down into 3 different stages. There's the foundation, and then there's the compliance, and then there's the credit building. Okay, now it has to be done differently than personal credit because it's different. And that's one of the things I get tired of. I get tired of people using their personal credit to build and fund their business, not understanding that there is business credit that is designed and created for building business credit. It looks at completely different factors. One of the biggest things that is looked at in the personal side is utilization, how much debt you have. And you actually get a hit based on how much debt you have. So on the business side, it's completely different. The more debt you have and the more debt you can manage, you actually benefit from that. Completely different algorithm. We're not going to talk about that right at this very second. Let's talk about the 3 different pillars, the 3 different segments, the 3 different stages And what you need to know about each one of these stages, and what I'm going to get into right now, is something that I charge people. I have charged up to $5,000. I've paid, some clients have paid $2,500, up to $5,000 for this specific service, and I'm giving it to you for free. So you better at least like, comment, and subscribe to this goddamn video, okay? Because I'm giving you a lot right now for free. So let's go ahead and talk about the foundation, and we're going to do this real quick. The foundation is critically important. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the formation of the corporation, okay? Now, this is where, you create an LLC. Majority of you are going to create an LLC. You can do a corporation. You can do whatever. I don't really care what the hell you do. Talk to your accountant, whatever it is. Majority of people in LLC is going to be just fine for them, okay? So this is where you form that with the state. This is something that is done with the state. I always say that this is basically your business's birth certificate. Remember when you were born and your mom and dad go ahead and filled out a birth certificate for you if you had a dad. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. So mom and dad filled out a birth certificate, and that is issued by the state. After that, you went to the IRS office and you got what they call is a social security number. The same process happens when you're talking about forming a business. You go to the state and you get an article of incorporation. That's just a funny way of talking about a business, your birth certificate for your business, okay? Then after that, you go ahead and get your EIN number, okay? It's also called an SS4 number, okay? This is an employee identification number that is issued again by the IRS. The same procedure, just like an individual. You're born, you get a certificate from the state, you get your social security number from the social security office. This IRS issues the business EIN number. So now, one of the things that you need to do before you take care of this is you need to make sure that you're consistent with the information that you use when you register your business. So let's take a quick pause here, and this is part of compliance. So I guess maybe, I'm sorry, I'm doing this live. Maybe you need the compliance first before you do the foundation, but anyway, you get what I mean here. Still, make sure, one of the things that makes sure that your compliance is address, phone number, web presence. Okay, so let's talk about these real quick. Now, the address and the phone number is what you're gonna, that is actually just the address is what you need for the formation and the EIN form. A lot of people tend to use their personal address in order to incorporate their business. I did it myself, so I'm not knocking you for that, but I'm here to tell you from somebody that has been in this industry for years, you do not want your business formed by your personal address. Number one, just for personal security reasons. Okay, you don't want your personal address just out there, even though it's easy to get. But when you register a business, it becomes a public information. Okay, so that's the first reason, is for security reasons. Do not use your personal address. The other thing is for legitimizing your business. Legitimizing reasons. Even I don't even know if that's a goddamn word. But I want you to know there is such a thing called clout, integrity, credibility. Okay? Clout, credibility. Okay? As an underwriter, if you work for the banks and if your job was to to protect the best interest of the bank, would you not be concerned if somebody, or would you not cause a red flag if somebody's using their home address instead of a business address? The person that has a business address looks to be more legitimate than somebody that has a personal address. I mean, that's just common sense, okay? So I want you to know this affects lending decisions. This is going to affect if you're going to get approved for, a $5,000 line or maybe a $500 line. That using a business address, a commercial address as they call it, does make a huge difference. So you want to make sure you're consistent and you use a business address. Now, again, I'm not trying to get you to go out there and rent out a place so you can have a business address. That's not necessarily necessary. But I do want you to go out there and at least get a UPS box, okay? And I say a UPS box because you do not want to use a United States Postal Office box. And the main reason is majority of lenders do not allow you to, and they do not accept a PO box on the application. I'm just going to show you live here, okay? We're going to go to Bank of America here, business credit card. Any one of these you can click. And as you will see on the application, and with numerous different applications, they do not accept P.O. boxes. Do you see that right there? Editor, zoom in so you can show them what I'm talking about, okay? So they do not accept P.O. boxes. Now, a UPS, you might be asking yourself, what the hell, Brian? Then what's the difference between a UPS box and a United States Postal Service box? The difference is a UPS box will not have those words P.O. box in it. It's going to be an actual address of the UPS office. It's going to have a suite number, and the suite number is going to be your actual box number. So the difference is you can actually use that on applications when you're submitting financing. And it's actually going to be looked at as a legitimate business address, even though it's just literally the same thing. But trust me on this. You want to use a UPS box. You don't want to use a P.O. box. It helps, it goes a long way. So that's the first thing that you want to do as it pertains to compliance. The next thing is a lot of people use their personal phone number in order to get as a business phone number. Again, this is from a credibility standpoint. This is from you to be looked at as a legitimate business. And again, people still do use caller ID. I want you guys to know. I know everybody got a cell phone. We just get the calls, and we don't really use caller ID the way we did back in the day, where you actually see who who's calling you, the first and last name, and everything pops up right there. The phone doesn't do that. It just shows you a phone number. Okay, caller ID is something that lenders do use in their verification and underwriting department. I want you to know that. And when you have a business line, it comes in as a business line. It's registered as a business line. I suggest go to Ring Central. Okay. Ring Central is something we've used for years. A very simple VoIP system. There's going to be a link in the description so you can actually get discounts on this. We're partnered up with them as one of our affiliates. So there's going to be a link in the description that I'll provide you where you can sign up for Ring Central. Ring Central allows you to call people, text people. You can do mass text messages. You can do faxes. You can do group text. You can record conversations. Sometimes it's lessons that I have in my course that I record the conversation because I want you guys to actually see how I communicate with my clients. By the way, I help business loan brokers getting into the industry. So if you're interested in becoming a business loan broker, there's going to be a link in the description. You want to go ahead and check out Broker Solutions Academy and see what we can do as far as helping you get started in the business. Or if you're a business owner and you need some capital, go to Pentec Consulting Group. We help people do that. Or if you're interested in me helping you build your business credit, and I know I'm giving you all the tips on this video, but if you're interested in us actually walking you through this whole process, we can gladly do so with Pentec Consulting Group. Go to our website, schedule an appointment, and we'll gladly get you on the phone and help you do that as well. But getting back to this, you want to be able to have a legitimate phone number, a business line, and it needs to be something that it needs to be separated. There's commingling of funds, number one, as far as your bank accounts. There's commingling of addresses, phone numbers, all of that needs to be completely separate. Okay, so from a compliance standpoint, your phone number, your address, your web presence, these are the things that you need to be worried about. Now let's talk about web presence. I would suggest going to this listyourself.com. Okay. Believe it or not, I know we don't get that big, fat, thick book at the end of the year called the Yellow Pages every single year because everybody got a cell phone, but online directories are actually a thing. Business online directories is one good way that underwriters can verify if you're a legitimate business. And in this day and age, in 2023, if you do not have a web presence, you are not a real business. Let me go ahead and repeat that. If you do not have a web presence, you're not considered a real business. It doesn't matter if you're a lawn care company, whatever the hell you do, you have to have a web presence. You have to have a Facebook page. These are just the basics. I mean, from United Nations to, I don't know, the White House. Everybody has even a Twitter account, okay? So social media is something that's really important. It just legitimizes your business. You must be Googleable, okay? If that's even a word. You must, let me go ahead and put that on there. You must be Googleable. Okay, we're creating all kind of Googler. We're creating all kind of word. That's a new word right there. Would you go ahead and spin that real quick? Okay, so you got to be Googleable, and this can all be done within like a couple of days. Depending on your state, of course. Some states take longer when it comes to incorporation, but these are the basics when it comes to this. Now, another thing is the financial aspect of things, financial compliance. You need to go ahead and set up a merchant account. Okay. There's going to be a link in the description, some of the different people that companies that we're affiliated with, so I'll provide you that as well so you can have that. You need to go ahead and set up a merchant account. You need to set up a bank account, okay? this is just mandatory because you are going to be making money. Let's go. I would say passion plus execution equals results. You need to be passionate about your business, number one, but you need to execute this correctly. And clearly you're getting into business so you can make some money. So absolutely you need to be set up so whenever somebody's ready to pay you, you can get paid. I remember when I started my business, I didn't really believe in myself as much. So I didn't even have a merchant account when I had this thing set up. So last minute when somebody was ready to send me some money, I had to set up a PayPal account and send them a PayPal invoice for me to get paid. So position yourself for success. I'll just end it with that. So anyway, moving forward. So once you've taken care of the foundation, once you've taken care of the compliance, addresses, make sure you legitimate mind yourself. Once you set up a phone service, a business phone service, Ring Central link is going to be in the description. Once you have a web presence, make sure you list yourself with the different online directories. Make sure you're Googleable. Make sure you have a website. Okay. This is just important. Go out there to GoDaddy. There's going to be a link in the description and purchase a domain with GoDaddy. Make sure that the financial compliance is done. Make sure you have a merchant account. Make sure you have a business bank account set up. And this right here, once you've done this, I mean, you're almost halfway there. Once you've done that, you're pretty much almost halfway there. Okay? So now, the next step is to get a Dun & Bradstreet number. This is very simple. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. You do not have to pay anybody, not even Dun & Bradstreet, to get a Dun & Bradstreet number. I'm gonna provide you this link. Of course, editor, make sure this link is in the description. If you already have a business, then you can go ahead and do this. But if you do not have a business, go through the same process. You can say my company, type your company information right here, type your, this is as you can see right here, what are they asking for? Business phone number, business name, business address. You want your stuff to be business stuff only. Put in your company information on here. I'm gonna provide you this link, Dun & Bradstreet's lookup, or you can just go to dnb.com/duns-number. You see the URL right here. Editor, zoom in, show them the URL, okay? And then do a search on your business. Once you do a search on your business is gonna pop up or it's not gonna pop up. Let's go ahead and do a search on Pentic Consulting Group, okay? If you've been in business for a while, your business should pop up automatically. If you haven't been in business for a while, then it's not gonna pop up, and then you can actually sign up for a DUNS number. So as you can see, I'm gonna do a search on the business, boom, all business pops up right there. Hold on a second, get DUNS number, business. So you can just follow these steps, as you can see, for free. They have all these other stupid packages. You don't need this crap. I'm gonna show you right now how to build business credit. You don't need this stuff, okay? If you wanna pay anybody, pay me so I can coach you one-on-one, okay? But you don't need the stuff that they're selling on here. You can go ahead and click get started, request a DUNS number. Trust when I believe that somebody will contact you and try to sell you their business credit building package. I'm gonna repeat this one more time. You do not need it. If you follow the steps that I'm about to show you on here, you don't need it. So sign up for Dun & Bradstreet, get that number, and then the next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and sign up for a BINS number, okay? BINS number is something that is issued by Experian Business, okay? So you want to go ahead and exchange, what do you call it? What's that link? BINS number, I'm sorry. BINS number. So right here, you want to do a search on your business. If you've been in business for some time, you want to go ahead and do a search on your business right here, and it's going to pop up. And if you need to go ahead and do your compliance again, because some people have probably been in business and they're like, man, I registered with my my home address, or I use my phone number. You need to go back and do the compliance again. You need to go ahead and change your address with the IRS. IRS change of address form. Okay, and you can fill out this form 8822. You can change your address to the IRS so you can keep things consistent. You can Google up the Secretary of State of your state and change the address of your state, so you can start over and get these things changed. You don't have to start a whole new business. Okay, so you look up the business to get the BINS number, and it's going to pop up. As you can see, Pentic Consulting Group, and this is our BIN number. Okay, you want to save that information. You want to save your DMB number. You want to save your BINS number. You want to save your EIN number. The business has a bunch of stuff, okay? So you need to save all this stuff. As you can see, we always got some trade lines in there. Experian is also going to try to sell you a bunch of bullshit that you do not need, okay? You don't need none of this shit. Trust me. All right, you have an understanding of how business credit works, because I explained to you how personal credit works, and it's exactly the same. It really is. But the setup on it is a little bit different. As you can see, there's a few more additional steps that you have to go through. But moving on, you have your BINS number. Now, you are ready to start building business credit. Okay, now you're absolutely ready to start building business credit. So let's just summarize what we did. We handled the foundation. We formed the LLC. We went ahead and got an EIN number with the IRS. Okay, we made sure, and then we passed our compliance. We made sure that we have a good address, physical address, okay, corporate address, not our home address. Okay, we went ahead and we got a business phone number, legitimate business phone number. We went ahead and we listed ourselves. We purchased a domain. Actually, this should be first, because you need a domain before you can start listing yourself. Okay, you know, when you get the domain, get a real business email. Stop using your goddamn Google, Yahoo Mail, all this bullshit. You know, it's shit. It's like $5 to get a real email under your domain. It legitimizes you. Trust me, man. Don't have a business card with a Gmail on there with a, you know, especially you old folks. You got your little Yahoo on there or Hotmail. Stop doing that. You look very immature. Okay, so you want to be able to have a real business email address. Use Google. What do you call it? GoDaddy. There's a domain in the description, and if you like the Google platform so much, great. You know, I still use Google. As you can see, my email address is brian@penticconsultinggroup.com, but I manage it through the Google platform. You know, this is where I manage it at. I don't, you know, manage it anywhere else. So, moving on. So once you've done all of that, once you've listed yourself, once you've gotten a merchant account, you know, and there's going to be a link in the description for a merchant account as well. Once you've set up a business account, because there's no commingling of funds once you do this, then you're ready to start building business credit, okay? Now keep in mind, this business is like that young 18-year-old that just come out of high school that doesn't have any credit. So you're not going to go out here and just get $50,000 or $100,000 in funding utilizing the business and business loan. Now this is where you got to make a big decision. There's two paths when it comes to building business credit. Two paths when it comes to building business credit. Okay, you can take the UBL PG line, or you can take the what I call biz only line. Let me make this make sense, okay? So if you have good personal credit, there is actually a way that you can quickly get true cash business cards, $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000, utilizing your personal credit by you being a personal guarantor with your personal credit and getting these lines of credit reported under the business line alone, okay? This is through the Unsecured Business Line program. This is a very cool product. If you can keep your eyes on the screen here, it offers 0% interest rate for the first 6 to 18 months. Some of them even up to 24 months. These lines of credit do not report on the personal credit, only report on the business credit. You only pay on the amount used, so it's excellent for a startup business. It does not increase your debt to income ratio, because as you know, when you bring up all this debt on your personal credit, it does affect your debt to income ratio. So you want to be careful with that. There's no restriction to the use of funds, does not report on your personal credit, and also help you build business credit. But again, you have to personally guarantee these business credit lines. So that's the PG line that I just mentioned, okay? Very fast way of you attracting real cash lines under your business name, so you can jumpstart building business credit. So in the near future, you don't have to depend on your personal credit to fund any business needs. This is like having a rich parent versus you being from the hood and your parents fucked up your credit by the time you're 18. The difference is when you have rich parents, they co-sign for you so you can get that expensive car. You know, so you can, they add you as an authorized user, so you can have, you know, instead of you starting out with $300 JCPenney Sears credit card, now you can start off with a $1,500 Amex card. Okay, that's the difference right there that you're doing with your business credit. Your business credit has been, you know, you're personally guaranteeing the lines of credit for your business. Okay, now if you have fucked up credit, if you're from the hood like me or from Africa, used to play soccer barefoot like me, okay, there's still options for you. And the option is to build business credit, utilize the business credit alone. The next step that you need to do is you need to go ahead and contact Granger and set up an account. You need to go ahead and contact Uline and set up an account. You need to go ahead and contact, what's this other company? What is it? Let me see, let me look it up here. And these companies, what they'll allow you to do is, they'll allow you to set up what we call net 30 accounts. You know, you'll have these net 30, they have net 15, net 45, net 60 accounts. These are basically accounts that you can go ahead and buy something on credit, and once you buy something on credit, you have, if it's a net 30 account, you have 30 days to pay that account off. You know, if it's a net, 60 account, you have 60 days to pay that account off. You know, if you have a net 90 account, you have 90 days to pay that debt off, okay? So you need to go ahead and call these 3 companies. Actually, just go online and sign up for each one of these companies: Quill, Granger, and Accurate. And I'm gonna show you what these companies do, okay? So they sell a bunch of industrial supplies, kind of office supplies, and a bunch of stuff. And they'll offer you, they will not look at your personal credit. They will not ask you for a social security number. They don't care about your personal credit, okay? Sign up for an account with them. You can register right here. And then once you register, I want you to contact them and say, I'm interested in getting an account, a credit account with you. Do you guys offer a net 30 or net 90 account? Or do you guys offer any, credit account so I can build business credit? They will tell you over the phone exactly what they offer, okay? You can literally call them right now. They'll tell you what credit bureaus they report with. They'll tell you we report with Dun & Bradstreet. Ask them this. This is just, the reason I made this video to kind of bless y'all with this gift is because I've seen how much you guys have been taking advantage out there with some of the information that's out there online. How this thing is just so taboo as to what you can do, and you have people doing this blogs for hours talking about business credit and not talking about a goddamn thing. So I just kind of wanted to make this video. You can call these companies and ask them, Granger, what business credit bureau do you guys report to? Can I have a net 30 account? They'll tell you, yeah, sign up, this is what you need to do. Or some of them will tell you have to make a purchase first. And then once you make your first purchase over $80, then they will tell you exactly what you need to do, okay? Once you get these accounts signed up and set up, buy something, pay it off. If you have a net 30 account, pay it off within the 20th, 25th day. Don't wait the full 30 days because they report when you paid it off as well. Okay, and then after that, buy some more stuff, pay it off. Okay, it's gonna take time to build your credit, just like it took time for you to build your credit whenever you're young. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight. You need to know that. Okay, so buy stuff, pay it off. Buy stuff, pay it off. That's kind of how it works. Eventually, you can go ahead and get fleet cards. Okay, fleet cards are for gas. Okay, and there's a bunch of them out there. There's gonna be a list that I come up with. I don't have it available right now. You need to go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel because I'm going to come up with a whole list of business credit cards and a bunch of stuff that I'm just going to be giving you guys for free. But you move from those vendor cards, those net 30 accounts, net 90 accounts, to fleet cards, to cards that you can actually carry over a balance, to Office Depot cards, to Best Buy card. These are what we call vendor cards. So you move from net 30 accounts to fleet cards to vendor cards, and then you can move to real cash cards. So there's a process here that you go through. This generally takes about 6 to 8 months or so. Sometimes it could take longer. It just depends on how much activity that you put into your credit history. And eventually you're gonna have about a payment score is gonna start coming up. I'm gonna offer you a link in the description for NAV. NAV is a business credit bureau that we use. But anyway, there's gonna be a link for NAV. NAV is a business credit service. Now make sure you use in the description, at least support the channel. Don't just go to their website. This helps us grow the channel, and we'll reinvest, everything that we'll make out of these affiliate relationships that we've established. So go to nav.com, sign up for their business credit service. Don't go to nav.com. I'm gonna provide you a link in the description for you to click. That's gonna send you to nav, okay? And then of course, once you register on there your business, you can start monitoring your business credit profile. You do this already. You do this with Credit Karma for free. You do this with a monitoring service with your personal credit for free. Business credit is not that much different. It's the same shit. Okay? So, but that's pretty much it. So I wanted to kind of just point that out. The steps it takes in order to get this done. Why I kind of just wanted to highlight the 3 different stages: foundation, compliance, and business credit building. And why it has to be done with this format. I'm sorry I try to make this as short as possible. It's a little bit longer than I expected, but hopefully you get the point. Do like and subscribe, and again, follow the channel. There's going to be a bunch of links in the description that I want to share with you that's going to kind of help you do this. But if you're interested in us helping you do this, we'll coach you and we'll actually do this for you so you don't have anything to worry about. We're the profession that have been doing this for years. We'll gladly help you do this. But if you need some funding as well, penticconsultinggroup.com, link in the description. If you want us to help you start and launch your own business brokerage firm, Broker Solutions Academy is a service that we help you do that as well. If you're interested in helping us manage your YouTube channel, we have a great editing team, great graphics management team. We can do that for you. If you're interested in helping you build your website, we can do that as well. We have SEO services, website building services. If you're interested in helping you hire a VA, we have some services that we can help you do that as well. So anyway, I appreciate you for joining me today. Hopefully you appreciate your gift this early Christmas. Okay, I'm coming in early with Christmas gifts already. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and you have a good rest of your day.